Hey boys and girls, I'm going to read you 4 beloved fairy tales. Let's get started. Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. Once there was a little girl named Goldilocks. One day she saw a cottage, and since no one was home, she let herself in. Goldilocks went into the kitchen where she saw 3 bowls of porridge. The first bowl was too hot, the second was too cold, but the third was just right. Goldilocks went into the living room and sat in a chair. It was too big. The second was too big too. The third chair was just right, but when she sat in it, it broke. Goldilocks went upstairs and lay on the first bed, but it was too hard. The second was too soft. The third was just right. Soon she fell fast asleep. The bears came home and Papa Bear growled, "Someone's been sleeping in my bed." "Mine too," said Mama Bear. "Look," cried Baby Bear. When Goldilocks saw the bears, she ran away. She never let herself into anyone's house again, and she never returned to the bears' home. The end. Next up, Jack and the Beanstalk. Once there was a little boy named Jack who lived with his mother. They were very poor. One day she sent him to town to sell their milk cow. On the way, an old man told Jack, "I'll trade your cow for magical beans." Jack agreed. When Jack returned, his mother said, "Foolish boy, you traded all we had left for some worthless beans." She tossed the beans on the ground. "I'm sorry, Mother," Jack said. The next morning, Jack saw that a beanstalk had sprouted and reached way up into the clouds. "I wonder what's at the top," Jack thought, and he began to climb. Jack came upon a castle where he saw a bag of gold, a goose, and a golden harp. He grabbed the treasures and ran, but the noise woke up a giant who thundered, "Fee, fi, fo, fum." Jack climbed down the stalk with the angry giant following close behind. Thinking quickly, Jack grabbed an axe and chopped the stalk down. The giant fell from the sky with a tremendous thud. His mother cried, "What a brave boy!" And Jack and his mother lived happily ever after. The end. Next up, the 3 Little Pigs. Once there were 3 little pigs who left home and built 3 houses. A big bad wolf was watching them. "You can't hide from me, little piggies," he snarled. The first little pig had built his house of straw. The wolf said, little pig, let me in." "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin," the little pig cried. "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in," said the wolf, and indeed he did. The pig ran to his brother's house of sticks, but the wolf came there too. Little pigs, let me in." "Not by the hair of our chinny chin chins." Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. And indeed he did. So the little pigs ran to their oldest brother's house. Now the third pig had built his house out of brick. The big bad wolf tried to blow it down until he was gasping for breath. The little pigs laughed at the wolf. Oops. The pigs shouted hooray and danced a little piggy jig. The wolf crawled off and never bothered them again. So the three little pigs lived happily ever after. The end. Next up, the tale of Little Red. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Little Red Riding Hood. One day she packed a basket of goodies and set off for Granny's house. Soon Little Red was lost. "Where are you going?" asked the big bad wolf. "My Granny's house, but I'm lost." He showed her the path, then he ran straight to Granny's. At Granny's, Little Red noticed something strange. "What big eyes you have!" "All the better to see you with," said the wolf. "My, what big hands you have!" said Little Red. "All the better to hold you with." "What big teeth you have!" "All the better to eat you with," cried the wolf, leaping from the bed. Little Red ran from the house screaming, "Help! Help!" Just then a lumberjack who was passing by heard the little girl's cries. The lumberjack sprang into action and chased the wolf away. Granny, who had been locked in a closet, managed to free herself. She and Little Red happily munched on their muffins, and the wolf never bothered them again. The end. Thanks for joining me, guys. Good night.